If you want to level up your Elden Ring character very fast at the start of the game, then this video guide will show you how to get 100,000 runes to level up your character fast. And it can be used at any point you are in the game, whether you've just finished the tutorial, or you can even come back and do this method right now. It works with any class, and technically speaking, you actually don't need to kill anything, or at least anything that can fight back. As you'll see in this video, it's very straightforward to follow along with, but you can always favorite the video if you want to use it for future character builds, since it gives you a massive jump start to leveling in Elden Ring. So I'm assuming you've just started the game and you're at the first step resting spot. If you haven't already unlocked the starting area of the map and your mount, there's a guide on how to do that linked down below in the description. After you follow that guide, you'll have a mount and the starting area of the map unlocked, which you need for this guide. After you've done that, from the first step resting spot just here on the map, we're going to turn and go directly south, because there's something we need to pick up in order for this method to be successful. So just go ahead and hop off the cliff just here, using the jump button so you don't take any fall damage. And then we're going to run all the way off the edge of the cliff just here. Just go ahead and sprint off and jump. And as long as you land on your horse at one of these sort of channels of air, you won't actually take any fall damage. Now what we're going to do is ride over to the east just here, and we're going to pick up this treasure hidden just on this pilgrim's body here. There will be some undead spawning around you, but you can just ignore them because, I mean, you can literally just walk past them. And now we have the Gold Pickled Fowl Foot, which we need later. After you've got that, we're just going to go ahead and jump on this whirlwind. That's going to send us back up here. And then we're going to jump on this one to get back up to the top here, which is a pretty damn cool view. Or alternatively, you can just fast travel back to the first step resting spot. But if we go to our inventory and then we look at the Gold Pickled Fowl Foot, this is essentially an item that increases the amount of runes that drop in the game for a short period of time. And we're going to need this later on in the video. Now, once again, looking at the map from the first step resting spot, we'd want to travel directly east along the bank of this lake just here, all the way down around the dip here. And we're going to put a map marker just over here, which is near this sort of fork in the path here. You can see we're going to travel from here just over here. And I'm going to put a waypoint over there by pressing A. And then we're going to go and travel to that waypoint that you can literally see in the distance over there. Just hop down the cliffs here and carry on going all the way to the waypoint. And if you're a fan of Elden Ring or any other Souls games, you may also be interested in Display. They sell metal posters that you can attach to the wall with magnets. And they have some really cool Dark Souls and Elden Ring artwork, which you can grab from the link down below in the description if you are excited about it, especially right now while there's a discount. And you can see in the distance there as we edge closer, ignoring all the enemies on the way, that there is another resting spot of grace, exactly where I marked on the map. Now we're going to be just here on the map at the Agheel Lake South. So if I go ahead and zoom in, you can see that just to the side here, there's a path that we can follow. It goes all the way down through a valley and across a bridge just here on the map. So we're going to put a waypoint just after that bridge over here, and that's where we're going to head over to next. So let's go ahead and mount up, and then we're going to jump up this rock here and just sort of walk over to the road, and you can see our waypoint over to the south there. So we're just going to head down the road through this valley and across the Bridge of Sacrifice, which is a rather dangerous bridge because it actually has a ballista on it. So in order to avoid that ballista, basically what you need to do is just listen out for the sound of it firing. As soon as you hear that sound, just dodge to the right like I do, and then it'll miss you every single time. And we're literally just going to ride across here and ignore all the enemies. They won't be able to hit you because they're far too slow. And we're going to come to the other side of this bridge where we put that waypoint. We're just going to pause here in the Weeping Peninsula Valley and then step a bit more forward until you can open your map. And now you'll see you've uncovered kind of like a path that carries on going south. So we're basically just going to keep following this road to the south, and we'll put another waypoint just here where this sort of T-junction is at the road. And we're going to carry on heading down this pathway. And you'll see just ahead of us, there is a broken down carriage. And inside the back of this broken down carriage, if I hop off my horse, we're going to find a chest that we can loot for the Morning Star weapon, which is a very important weapon that we need for this guide. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Now at this point you can die, and if you're playing as a mage or a weaker class, the Morning Star will require a higher strength to wield. But don't worry, you can just two-hand it and use it effectively. To do this, hold down Y or triangle on PlayStation, and then press the light attack button while holding it down. And then you'll be two-handing the mace, and you can now use it effectively as a weapon. And we're going to fast travel back to the Aghil Lake South resting point just here on the map once again. And from here, we're actually going to go all the way to the northeast, where there is another Church of Marika located just here, just below this little lake here. We're going to put another waypoint there. And if you watch my other video, you already have this area of the map unlocked. If not, starting from the Aghil Lake South resting point, we're literally just going to go northwards on this pathway. You guys can skip ahead if you already know the routes. I'm just showing you for new players just to make it super clear where to go, because a lot of people have commented on the video saying that they appreciate that. And then we're just going to carry on north past the bridge that we come across. You can see the path turns left across that bridge, but we're going to carry on going right north down this dirt track here all the way over to the Church of Marika, which is the next location. And here we are at the Church of Marika. So let's go ahead and head on inside of it. And just here we can activate the resting spots of grace. And as you can see, we're now right here on the map at the third Church of Marika. And if I go ahead and zoom in on the map, right to the north, just where this lake is, we're going to put another little waypoint just over here, because there's actually a teleporter that's going to take us all the way over here. So from this resting spot, you can see there's a gap in the ruins here, which is going to run over here through the bushes. You can see our waypoint is just over there. So hop down these rocks to the lake just here. And this is the teleporter hidden in the bushes, kind of like a wispy bit of wind. And we're going to activate this teleporter and travel to another location. Ooh, spooky. And now we're at the Greydol's Dragon Barrow, and there's a sneaky enemy behind us. So as you can see, this has teleported us all the way to the northeast of the map over here. So we're going to zoom in, and pretty much directly south, we're just going to put a waypoint marker around here where this clouded area is. Just over here. This is basically the direction we're heading, and you're going to follow where I go now. So if you look in the south there, you can see the waypoints we placed next to that golden tree, basically. That's your reference from here. And now we're just going to run past this guy. He's not going to attack you. He's not fast enough. I'm just going to go down this pathway, heading east currently, but it sort of loops around to the south there. You can see there's a big bridge. But before we get to that bridge, there's actually another resting point, which we're going to want to pick up. If you die for some reason in between here, you can just come back using the same teleporter. But you see, just before you get to this bridge, there's a resting point of grace just on the left here. There's also a massive dragon on that bridge, but don't worry about it. He is absolutely harmless. He's very friendly. We want to get on our horse again, and then we're going to ride up to this dragon. And as long as you're quick, like, it doesn't attack you. In fact, I usually like to run between its legs, so you guys like the video. He seems to just sort of react to you and then take ages to actually start to attack. So as long as you're riding straight on, you shouldn't have any problem, and he'll pretty much miss everything, as you can see. So now what we're going to do is carry on riding down this pathway. And you can see that's the golden tree where we place the waypoint, and we're going to continue up to this. Ignore the lightning, by the way, it doesn't actually do any damage. And you can see there's another boss directly ahead. So at this point, go right around these pots, and then you're going to want to go straight on in between these pots just over here, and then you're going to head left up this little sort of rocky area just here. And then we're going to stop here, have a look on the map where we are. So you can see this is where we were. We went across this bridge here, and now we're just here at the minor Erd tree. So then from the foot of this giant tree that we're at, we're going to go directly west now. And we're going to continue along this pathway until we basically get to the enemy we need to get to. Head west down this pathway, ignoring the enemies once again. Just carry on following this cliff edge here. Keep going, and you eventually have to drop off this ledge just here, so go ahead and do that. There'll be a giant ball. You can go ahead and yeet if you like. And then we'll get to this sort of area where there's a cliff face. So at this point, follow exactly where I go. We're going to jump up the cliff here. There's a big dragon on the left. We're just going to ride round just here where I'm going exactly. Carry on riding round. We're going to go just to the right of his wing here, hop over here and head round behind him, and then jump over here. And we're now basically behind the dragon just over here. You can see there's no enemies here and we're pretty safe. So we're going to jump off our horse and we're going to enter sneak mode. Just make sure that none of those dragons have followed you. Now, if you want to know the exact location, you don't have the map uncovered. This was the minor Erd tree we're at, and we are now just here next to this pathway, and that is where we are at this dragon boss. And as you can see, we're absolutely fine here. So what we're going to do is now we're going to walk in between this sort of dragon's wing here into his like armpit area, and we're just going to start hitting him from here while we two-hand our weapon. Now, as you can see, we are going to start to melee this dragon with our Morningstar mate, and it will do very little damage. But this doesn't actually matter, because each time you attack, you'll actually be stacking the bleed effect, which does percentage-based damage after it builds up. So after several attacks, you'll do 13,400 damage very suddenly, and a big chunk of the boss's health will disappear. And you're pretty much going to carry on light attacking the dragon to do this repeatedly until the dragon is low on health. I suggest that you just carry on light attacking until your stamina is low, and then wait for it to fill up and then start the combo again. This will take you 5 minutes to kill the dragon from full health, so it doesn't take very long at all. The best part is the dragon doesn't fight back, so you're going to get these runes for nothing really. But now comes the most important part of the video. You do not want to kill the dragon completely yet. You just want to get it as low as possible. So as long as you're doing this early on with any character in Elden Ring at the start of the game, using the Morningstar weapon, you always end up getting the dragon to this sort of small slither of health that we see at the end here. So once you've almost killed the dragon and you've just triggered the bleed effect, and it drops down to low health like this, you're going to want to make sure you've equipped your Gold Pickled Fowl Foot from your inventory and put it in your quick slot ready to use. Then we're just going to hit the dragon several more times, then activate the Gold Pickled Fowl Foot so you can see it ticking away there, and then just carry on attacking until it's dead. Then you'll also get the extra boost in runes that the Gold Fowl Foot gives you for being active at the same time that you're killing this dragon. But if for some reason you run out of Golden Fowl Feet, there's a guide on how to farm them linked below. The Golden Fowl Feet do give a 30% boost to the amount of runes you get, so they are great for farming runes with. And you can actually farm an unlimited amount of them very easily as well. So as you can see, after the dragon is killed, we get all of the runes from the dragon surrounding us, 96,702 on the bottom right corner there in total. So you can see there's a big difference there. In fact, there's a way to increase that number even higher, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. However, it is a bit harder to do. So now we have killed the great dragon, we can pretty much just fast travel back to the first step resting spot or anywhere else we want to go. And we're going to level up our character. So as you can see, using the 100,000 runes, depending on what class you're using and what level you start at, you can now set up your character build however you would like. I would strongly suggest checking out another starter guide or character build guide linked below, so you don't just allocate your stats randomly and you instead have a build plan in mind. In total, from starting the game at level 9, the Samurai class can level up another 24 4 times using this method. But if you want to get even more runes using this method, and I mean like another 20,000 runes or so, to allow you to level up even further, you're going to want to obtain the Golden Scarab, which boosts the runes you obtain by another 20%, and when stacked with the Golden Fowl Foot, you'll be getting another 50% more runes whenever you kill something. However, the Golden Scarab helmet requires you to kill a boss in order to obtain, which is why I didn't include it in this video. Instead, there'll be a guide on how to obtain that and unlimited Golden Fowl Foot linked down below in the video description. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one.